accounts. And before we start, allow me to just acknowledge the presence of Goodyear at the comment section. Thank you so much, Goodyear. I hope I've seen your comment sometime. I hope you're coming or you're joining. Allow me to as well acknowledge the presence of Brenda Obedi at the comment section. And before we proceed or we start, allow me to welcome Brother Msimamo naye atusalimu na tuambie siku yake imekuwa vipi. Msimamo.
Asante ndugu yangu Mark, sio kama unanipata.
Nakusikiza, endelea.
Naam, kwa kweli siku yangu imeniendea poa. Unaona, kwa kweli tunamshukuru Mungu haswa. Kiukweli siku yangu imeniendea bomba, na pia ni furaha tena haswa upya kuweza kukutana tena papa hapa, kuweza kuchangia haswa majapo maneno mawili matatu ambayo yanafungamana na taifa letu na siasa ya kila siku. Lakini awali ya yote pia na mimi pia vile vile niwasalimia ndugu zangu wote upande wa pili ule, familia upande wa comment section, Brenda ndugu yangu ambavyo ni Gudia, nimsalimia habari ya masiku. Lakini pia vile vile na wote wale ambao wanatufuatilia kiwemo brother Benson na wengine kokote kule ulimwenguni. Ndugu yangu, labda nirudi kwako kama kwa ufunguzi, kama kuna lolote lenye tija basi tuanzie hapo. Asante.
Okay, thank you so much. And today, more of the topic we'll be discussing is the Linda Mwananchi Rising, where Sifuna Babu leads the Machakos rally. As on the other side, still within ODM, Wanga, Oburu, on the other side of Kisumu, as well had a massive crowd. The question that people are asking is, which side is really speaking the truth? And not just that, about lives, the issues of Ebola here and there. And not just that again, the Utumishi girls, the inferno, the fire that brought down the entire dormitory, the top floor, is something that people are also speaking and giving their views on. And it's coming out that there are possibilities that this fire was started by some of the students. Those are some of what we want to discuss tonight. And before we do, allow me to remind you that kindly engage us at the comment section. And if you are new, kindly like and subscribe, because if you do so, it is a way of supporting us. And as we get straight to the topic, Kenya is at a boiling point, from Gachagua and the opposition leaders telling the US to respect the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya. The Linda Mwananchi threatening demos if the contract or the agreement between the government of Kenya and the US is implemented. The agreement is building quarantine facilities within the Republic of Kenya. But what is more painful is the statement that came from the US, where their representative is saying that they're doing all they can to ensure that they protect the people or the Americans from the deadly Ebola virus. Now, to the building up for the Madaraka Day, which is happening tomorrow in Wajir. Again, Oburu deferring his presidential ambition together with the ODM, saying that ODM will have a chance in 2032. But this time round, it is for William Samoei Ruto. Again, like I'd mentioned, the shocking Utumishi girls fire. And that is more of what we want to discuss. And we urge our viewers to simply give us their views as well as we get deep into this conversation. And I'll start with the issue of Gachagua, Kalonzo, and the opposition versus the United States of America. Rigathi Gachagua and the opposition leaders are coming out to demand that the US respect the Kenya's constitution and sovereignty. This follows the rising suspicion of foreign influence in the Kenyan politics, and not just that. The contract between Kenya and the United States on the issue of Ebola has sparked outrage, with many Kenyans rejecting what they see as lack of respect to the humanity and also to the lives of the people of Kenya. So the question I want to ask you, Bwana Msimamo, on this issue of Ebola, we are being told that this contract was signed in 2013, 2015, and again resigned again in 2022, and it is giving United States of America that autonomy to do what they want, specifically in building this particular Ebola facility in Laikipia. What is your view as a Kenyan? Do you think it is respectful? Do you think it is how is it affecting the Kenyans? Bwana Msimamo, you can give us your take.
Asante ndugu yangu Mark kwa swali hilo. Mimi kwangu yatakuwa machache na mafupi, kwa sababu tangia juzi tumeweza kulidadavua hili na kulichangia mno, lakini kwa kukumbushana itakuwa ni jambo la mborea, kwa sababu hata vitabu vyetu vya Mungu vinaturuhusu hasa kuweza kukumbushana na kuambizana yale yenye tija na yanafungamana hasa na haki yake yeye. Kwa kweli mimi nitasema hili swala kwa kweli, kwanza nilipinga kibinafsi kwa sababu zangu kama msimamo, lakini pia nikaa najiuliza haswa hadi lafikia hapa ya kwamba quarantine ijengwe kwetu hapa nchini, haswa maeneo ya Laikipia. Nani alikuja na haya? Je, ni Mwamerika ama ni sisi wa Kenya ndio tuliokwenda kule? Kwa maana tuliona ile 1.7 billion dola then zikatutoa macho. Je, ni sisi, ni serikali yetu ndio limerai kwamba wataweza kufacilitate hili ama ni Mwamerika? Kwa maana ukiangalia haswa katika pitapita zangu nimeona kwamba baadhi ya Mwamerika yule niliopata kuangalia comment yake akisema kwamba si Mwamerika alitafuta Mkenya, ni Mkenya ndio alitafuta Mwamerika kwa ajili ya hili. Sasa likawa linanipa maswali katika akili yangu kwamba hadi yafikia hapo kwamba usalama wetu haswa uwe hauna tija, yani hauchukui maanani, kwamba tunajua jambo ambalo kwa kweli kizungumkuti. Maana hata wakisema kwamba wakidai kwamba wataweza kutoa ulinzi kamili wa kuona kwamba Afrika virusi haviwezi sambaa katika taifa letu, swali langu ni jepesi tu, mbona wasifanye kwao, wala mbona wasifanye maeneo yale ambayo ya tayari yashakuwa yanahusika na hili, yani wameshakuwa waathiriwa wa hili? Mbona Kenya? Je, ni Mwamerika ama ni sisi wenyewe haswa viongozi wetu ndio ambao wameona kwamba hili wana mbavu nalo kutokana na mshiko uliopo? Kwa hivyo kwa sababu ya hela iko pale, basi tuangalie hela kuliko usalama. Hayo ni maswali ambayo mimi najiuliza kama msimamo, kwa sababu kiukweli kabisa kama halipo, na kama ugonjwa Mungu ametujusuru haswa, licha ya kwamba tuna mengi maovu mbele yake, lakini kwa kweli ametuonia imani, mkono wake ametuonia imani, ametugezea uso wake, haswa ugonjwa ule ukapita na mbali. Hivi leo tukijengea maskani hapa itakuwaje? Kwa sababu mwisho wa siku kama utaletwa kwa kambi ya jeshi, basi wanajeshi wale wana familia, wanatengamana, itakuwaje? Na kama utaletwa kwa ajili ya ajira ya madaktari wetu, je, hatima itakuwaje? Lakini je, wale ambao wataweza kuuza mboga pale, kuweza kuuza bidhaa pale, nao hatima yao itakuwaje? Je, hivi wakisema watalinda kwa mazingira gani? Kwamba itakuwaje? Watueleze, na hata wakitueleza, lakini mimi kama Mkenya sifungamani na hili la quarantine ya Ebola kuweza kujengwa katika taifa letu, kwa sababu haileti shangwe kwamba usalama wetu utakuwa unatutia mashaka hivyo. Na mwisho kabisa kwa hili, kwa nini alipinga kwamba pia litaweza kutustupushia wale watalii ambao wataweza kufurika katika taifa letu, ambao wanafurika on daily basis katika taifa letu kuweza kujionea yale mazuri ya taifa letu. Sasa je, kama kutakuwa kuna quarantine hii na mfano ugonjwa umetoka nje ya hiyo quarantine, sasa umezagaa katika taifa letu, je, hatuoni kwamba tumejiongezea tena shida nyingine? Kwa tamaa ya leo basi kwa kula kwa leo basi tunajisahau haswa kwa kula kwa kesho, kwa kuweza kuona kwamba pengine haswa watu wale wamegoma kutokana na pengine mlipuko ule umetokea, lakini pia maisha haswa ya Mkenya wa kawaida ambaye hana lile wala hili. So kwa kweli mimi nitarudi kwako Mark nikisema bado sifungamani kabisa na swala hili kwa sababu za kiusalama, lakini vile vile haswa kwa kejeli ile ambayo Mwamerika anatufanyia kuona kwamba kwake hataki hata mtu aonekane mipaka mwenye Ebola mipaka ya kwake, lakini yuko radhi kuweza kutoa mamilioni yale ya pesa kuweza kufandi hili katika taifa letu. Mimi naona hapo ni kutuonea haswa kutiona haswa kwamba si watu haswa miongoni mwa watu, kwa sababu hilo haliwezekani haswa kiukamilifu. Not only kuwe kwamba kuna ukaribu anajisongesha kwa lengo lingine, Ebola iwepo, quarantine iweko, lakini kuwe kuna nje zaidi ya hili. But kwa kweli mimi nitaachia hapo kwamba sifungamana nalo haswa kaka, kwa kweli kabisa yani.
Thank you so much, Bwana Msimamo. And Kenyans are asking a lot of questions. The constitution is very clear, Bwana Msimamo, as you know, that anything that Kenyan government is getting into, the people of Kenya are supposed to be aware. This is a serious thing, that involves the lives of the people of Kenya. Why would the government get into such agreements without the participation of the people of Kenya? Why would the Kenyan government do this without letting the people of Kenya get to know a bit of what was inside it? And again, in your own way, Bwana Msimamo, nataka tu kusikiza maoni yako. Ebola is one of the deadliest viruses that is killing, and it kills very fast. It is a serious disease. The question I want to ask you, you know very well that it is one of those diseases that they've never found the vaccine, they've never found the medication for this particular disease. With the Kenyan government allowing the US to bring their, affected citizens to Kenya, and being that Kenya is also a country with people, what kind of picture are they showing? And again, the government that gave them this particular authorization, what does it tell you? Does it mean that whatever is offered by the foreign governments can be received by the government without them looking into the bigger picture, the lives of the people of Kenyans? Why is it that they're not taking that keen interest in ensuring that the lives of the people of Kenya are more given priority, in the same manner that United States of America are also taking that initiative to ensure that the affected do not get to the United States of America, but they are taken to another country? What does that tell you? Does it mean that it is Kenyans whose lives do not matter? In your own way, Msimamo.
Mimi silaumu Mkenya, laumu viongozi wale ambao wamelikalia katika meza haswa kulipangia hili. Unajua hili jambo mimi kwangu masikioni nalifungamana na nilinganisha na lile la JMO wakati ule wa mwanzo wa hatamu ya hii regime, kwa vyakula vile vilivyosemekana kwamba viko na sumu na kadhalika, na ikawa imependekezwa kwamba hivyo vinauzwa haswa katika ile taifa kama tunakumbuka. So kule kujali hakupo. Hawa viongozi wetu ambao wako katika madaraka hawana kule kujali haswa maisha yetu si kama wa Kenya. Kile wanajali ni kuona opportunity na fursa, kama kuna mali kuna hela, basi wao akili zao zote wanafikiria hela. Haya mengine ni baadaye, kwa sababu mataifa yako mengi ikiwemo Kongo ambao ugonjwa huu upo. Mbona Mwamerika asijenge pale? Kwa siwezi mlaumu Amerika. Kitambo yeye aanze kuleta haya mawazo ni kwamba kuna mazungumzo yalifanyika, na kama kufanyika hayajafanyika na viongozi wengine apart from wale ambao wanaongoza kwa muda huu. Kwa hiyo kwa ishara hiyo ni kwamba haswa wale ambao haswa hawajali maisha yetu haswa kikamilifu na hawatutakii mema, basi na wa viongozi wetu ambao wamefungamana na hili kuweza kurudisha na kulileta, kwa sababu ukikumbuka kauli yangu wa juzi, hili jambo ambalo kwa kweli lilikuwa ni la kukataa, si la kulikalia kikao, kataa moja kwa moja kwamba staki wale wengi, kisha mdau ambaye mimi jambo hili nilikataa kwa sababu hii, yani kule kujali na kuweza kuongeza ile upenzi haswa kwa wale unaoongoza. Baada kwa jopo limeteuliwa, jopo ambalo litakalia hili likuongezwa na likuongozwa na waziri mkuu. So najiuliza sasa, mkao huu uliokalishwa lipi, na ni jambo ambalo hili la ugonjwa na ugonjwa ambao labda ni wa mchezo almost 24 hours jamani, alafu unaambukiza ya ajabu kwamba ipo kabisa. Kwa wanao tutukana na wanao. Yes, unanipata?
You've been breaking, I don't know why, but kindly get to a point where we can hear you clearly. You are slightly breaking. Proceed. Okay, as we wait for Msimamo, I want to take this opportunity to welcome our good friend, Good Dear. Thank you so much for coming or finding time to join us. We hope that wherever you've been, you are okay. Allow me to as well acknowledge the presence of Judith. Thank you so much, Judith, for finding time again to join us this evening. Not forgetting our good friend Jake, Brenda, June, and everyone who is watching. Thank you so much. Over here, we do say that your opinion counts. And tonight, we are simply giving our views on part of what is happening in the Republic of Kenya. As you all know, that there is the issue of Ebola that is currently affecting the DRC. It has killed it has affected more than 1,300 and plus. And this is one of the deadliest diseases that the world has ever seen. What is happening is that the United States of America, they are using what they have to ensure that that virus do not get to United States of America. But the most painful bit is that the government of Kenya had gotten into a contract with the United States of America, and that gives them the leeway to come build a quarantine facility within the Republic of Kenya. And the representatives of United States of America coming out to say that they are using all they have to ensure that the virus do not get to the United States of America. The questions Kenyans are asking is, does it mean that Kenyans' lives do not matter? Why would a government permit such a serious thing? Why would they permit affected people to be brought here in the Republic of Kenya? If the US is doing what they can do to ensure that it does not get to their country, and Kenya is accepting money and allowing the United States of America to come build a quarantine facility in the Republic of Kenya. So the opposition, that is Rigathi, Kalonzo, amongst quite a number of them, are saying it is not right, it is not right, it should not happen. That is what we are trying to give our views. Our viewers, you can give us your comments. I can see Good Day saying, Ruto really doesn't like Kenyans. Our lives only cost $13.7 million. Okay. That's so painful. As I wait for Msimamo, this is something that we all need to give our views and again to speak about, because Ebola does not have any vaccine. There is no any medication that has been approved that can deal with it. Allowing people who are affected to be brought to the Republic of Kenya, what would it mean to the lives of the people of Kenyans? If Americans are fighting for their citizens not to contract this particular disease, why couldn't the President of the Republic of Kenya and the leadership of the Republic of Kenya not protect the people of Kenya in the same measure? What is wrong with Africa? What is wrong with Africa? That is the question. For money, they accept everything. For money, they have, the constitution is very clear. It gives the citizens of the Republic of Kenya an opportunity to elect leaders. These leaders, as they are taking the oath, they swear before the people and before God that their first priority would be the citizens. If they are getting into contracts to bring affected people here in the Republic of Kenya, what does that tell you? Are they then respecting the oath? Are they then respecting the Constitution? The Constitution also speaks about the bit of participation, where anything that is involving or going to affect the lives of the people of Kenya in whichever capacity, Kenyans have to be involved. Public participation has to happen. These are some of the things that we've never seen. And so the question is, are we safe under these leaders? Are we safe? Is Kenya safe? The citizens of the Republic of Kenya safe? It is that strange. Allow me to hear from Msimamo. Msimamo, before we move to the next segment. Msimamo?
Naam kaka, si kama
Proceed.
unanipata sasa?
You can hear you. Proceed.
Ya, ni pale nilipoachia.
Yes, proceed.
Ya, so mimi nikimalizia haswa pale nilipokuwa nimeachia ni kwamba silaumu Mwamerika, nalaumu viongozi wetu. Kwa nini wakalie jambo ambalo wanaelewa kwamba ni hatari kwetu bila kujali haswa ikiwa magonjwa tunayoteli hapa ambayo hayajapata suluhu, kutibiwa, kufukuzwa nje haswa, bado yanatutesa, malaria na kadhalika na vitu vingine ambavyo vinafungamana, magonjwa mengine ambayo yanafungamana. Leo hii tuna utaalamu upi haswa wa kuweza kuruhusu hili, kisha kwa ulinzi wa wale ambao kwao wameweza kukataa kabisa, tutawaaminije haswa kwamba wao watatupa ulinzi ikiwa kwao kwenyewe hawataki kuwaona hata wao wagonjwa? Kwa hiyo kwangu silaumu Maamerika, na laumu haswa viongozi wetu ambao labda mimi kimtazama wangu huu mshiko wa 1.7 billion dola huu sasa ndio ambao hakika umetolewa, umetafutiwa haswa mbinu. Kwa kweli hilo ndio naweza nikaliweka katika hali hiyo. Siwezi laumu Amerika, na laumu haswa viongozi wetu hapa, na ni ombi langu haswa nikimalizia kwamba wasikize haswa wananchi, washirikishe wananchi kikamilifu na wasikize maoni ya wengi. Lakini vile vile pia hali yangu ya pili ni kuona kwamba viongozi wa dini wamekuja mstari wa mbele haswa, wako mstari wa mbele haswa hakuweza kulikataa hili haswa, kwa mashirika yale ambayo yanafungamana na haki za kibinadamu vivyo hivyo, lakini pia wizara husika ya afya pia haswa ihusike, si mahakama tu peke yake, hapana, bali haswa kila nyanja haswa ama kila pande haswa izungumze hili, wakiwemo wengi wa wananchi ambao walikatae hili kwa nguvu yote, kwa sababu mwisho wa siku huku ni kucheza na shilingi karibu na tundu wa choo, na tunaelewa fika baadaye itakuwaje. Asante.
Okay, thank you so much, Bwana Msimamo. And as we get to the next main segment, the Linda Mwananchi team in Machakos, that of course, the likes of Edwin Sifuna, Babu, James Rengo, they led a team of Linda Mwananchi in Machakos, and of course, they did their politics as usual, promised the people and reminded the people of where they've come from and where they are supposed to be going. They were received by a multitude of people, a huge crowd. They were welcomed, a good reception. And again, they did promise that they will work with the Kalonzo, Msoka Kalonzo, and any other opposition who has the mentality or the view similar to what they have. In their rally, they also threatened that they will call a demonstration over the cost of living and the government cooperation with the United States of America, more so on the issue of Ebola. They said that if that thing proceeds, then they will get into the street and possibly remind the government of the United States of America that Kenyans' lives also matter. So their rally their rallies, we could see shows a grassroots energy, but also highlight still the ODM's internal division with rivals. That is the side that is led by Dr. Oburu, also having a rally in Kisumu. But allow me to just speak about the rally in Machakos, and while they were coming back, they held another one in Mlolongo. So what is your view, Bwana Msimamo, on the rallies of Linda Mwananchi and their perspective, their view of this government and the entirety of how the country is run? Msimamo? Can also give us your view on the kind of receptions they've been getting. I can see the issue of football is going on here at the comment section. We will get into that. And I wanted to remind our good friend Judith that yesterday some of us supported PSG, not because we love PSG, but because hatukutaka madharau, hatukutaka kelele mingi. We did not want to see traffic being stopped or such kind of behavior. So we decided to support PSG. That is to you, a good friend, Judith. Msimamo, what is your take?
Kuhusiana na Linda Mwananchi, sio?
Yes. And the rally, what they spoke about, what they represent, and what they are bringing forth.
Yani mimi kwa kweli nimeangalia nikatazama, sijiona jipya zaidi, ni vile vile tu misimamo yao yale ambayo walikuwa wanasimama nao tangia awali, kama Linda Mwananchi bado ni pale pale. Sifuna bado naamini kwamba yeye ni SG halali wa chama cha ODM. Orengo naye akisema mimi ndio party leader. Lakini kubwa ambalo limenitia furaha ni kumuona tena kijana wetu yule wa Mr. Speaker saa akiwemo amejiunga na Linda Mwananchi. Unajua Mr. Speaker saa alivunja record wakati ule wa 2024 pale bungeni. So kwa kuja kumuona tena hapa akisema Mr. Speaker saa amenikumbusha enzi zile, nikasema da, vuguvugu hili la kina Mr. Speaker saa huenda pengine kama litajitokeza tena kwa mara nyingine likatupa tena ukombozi, ama ngalau likayumbisha uongozi tena kama walivyofanya, ili kuona kwamba labda mambo atakwenda sawa. Lakini ukirudi katika hali ya siasa, wao wamezungumza wazi kwamba wako tayari kufanya kazi na Kalonzo Musyoka na kurejesha haswa mkono kwa Kalonzo Musyoka, kutokana kwamba Kalonzo Musyoka ameweza kuunga mkono baba awamu tatu ambao ni miaka 15 hiyo mtawalia. Hivyo wao wanaamini kwamba wao hawafungamani na masuala na serikali, wanasema mkataba wao ulisha. Unaona, so si kuona jipya zaidi ya hilo kwamba tumeona tu kwamba wao wako tayari kufanya kazi na Kalonzo na wanaamini Kalonzo anafaa na anatosha. Kwa hiyo nadhani pale tiketi ambayo kama kimtazamo wangu sasa, haya ni ya kwangu mimi msimamo, naona basi ni Kalonzo president maybe na Sifuna vice president. Nafikiri hiyo tiketi kama itakuwa hivyo si mbaya, kwa sababu nimeshaiona kwenye polls na si mbaya, na Wakenya wataweza kuifagilia na kuonafika kwamba naiunga mkono. Lakini zuri zaidi la mwisho ni kwamba ni mkutano ambao ulijaa pomoni na haukuwa na mbwembwe, haukuwa na mawidowido mengi, haukuwa hata na uniforms, lakini wananchi wenyewe wamefuacha kazi zao, wamekuja kusikiza viongozi. That's what I need. What I like. Na hiyo ndio kitu kwa nafikiri na kiangalia zaidi. Mimi kwa rally siangalii hoja wamevalishwa ma uniforms, magari hatukuona. Wao walisema tutakuwa mahali fulani na wananchi wakajipanga wakatoka wao wenyewe, tofauti na yale ambayo tumeweza kuyashuhudia, magari kupambwa tangia wiki yote hii na mambo kupangwa kwa ajili ya huo mkutano uonekane kwa media kwamba na wao bado wana nguvu. Unaona, hiyo ndio ilikuwa tofauti. Kwa hiyo nimependezwa kuona kwamba still bado umati unajitokeza kwa linda mwananchi kama tulivyozoea. Haijalishi Kisumu, haijalishi ni Machakos, haijalishi Mombasa, haijalishi Vihiga, still bado wana ile waves ya kuweza kuwachukua wananchi kwa hiari yao wenyewe, wananchi hasa kuweza kuwapenda wao viongozi. Unaona, that's why unakuta kwamba mkutano ulikuwa umejaa pomoni, lakini kwa maudhui na mazungumzo ni yale yale ambayo mlinda mwananchi wanasimama nayo tangia awali kwamba wao wanaamini na one term na wanaamini kwamba serikali iliyopo kwa kweli hawataweza kufungamana nayo, na wanaona kwamba ili tupumzike basi ni kuona hii imeenda na wao wameweza kutangaza serikali. Unaona, labda pengine sasa upande ule wa zamani ni underground ambao sasa hivi wanaita ni ODM walisilia, so unakuta
Bwana
kwamba
Msimamo, on the same, kabla tutapata nafasi tuzungumzie the side of Dr. Oburu. Linda Mwananchi wanasema they will mobilize and get to the street to remind the government that they are not supposed to accept the fact that the United States citizens will be brought in for quarantine in the Republic of Kenya. What is your view on that? Do they have the capacity? What we normally used to see is Raila Amolo doing that. Do this particular movement have the capacity to hold the president to account to an extent that the issues of
yeah,
quarantine building in the Republic of Kenya would be stopped? Give us your view on that as well.
I have no doubt at all they have that capacity, because tumeona wanaleta wananchi, wana mvuto na wananchi, so wana hiyo nguvu ile ile la ile, kwa sababu linda mwananchi iko na spirit ya hiyo, ndo hiyo ndio hiyo ndio nafuu na usalama wa alinda mwananchi, wako na ile spirit ya Raila popote wanapokwenda. Kwa hiyo wale wakisema kwamba wataweza kuleta wananchi, haswa kuwavuta, haswa kuweza kupingana na hili la quarantine kujengwa haswa katika ardhi yetu, naamini kwamba sina shaka na wao kabisa, uwezo wanao kabisa, ikiwa tu kwa mikutano hii wanavuta wananchi namna hiyo. Je, kwa hili ambalo kwa kweli kila mwananchi sasa hivi ametamauka, hajui hatima ya hili taifa, kama tutaletewa Ebola katika nchi yetu then ianze kututafuna. Kwa kweli I do believe kwamba sina shaka na wao na wana uwezo huo, kaka yangu, nikikujibu, na nafungamana na wao haswa kuweza kuwa mstari wa mbele kuwaongoza haswa Wakenya wale wengine wote kuona kwamba wanapinga hili na hii quarantine kujengwa haswa katika taifa letu. Back to ndugu yangu Mark.
Okay, thank you so much, Bwana Msimamo. And allow me to remind our viewers that we are live on Brother Benson Media and also at our sister channel Kikao na Sauti. And over here we do say that your opinion counts. We do have conversations, of course, conversations relating to politics, economics, and everything that is affecting the world and Kenya. And over here, we do say, as usual, that your opinion counts. You can always join the panelist. Just let us know at the comment section. Or again, you can just as well give us your views at the comment section. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And we appreciate so much your consistency and your support as well. I want us to get to this other section of Bwana Msimamo, the ODM Oburu's team, where Oburu is saying that ODM has deferred any presidential ambition till 2032, signaling ODM's patience and possible coalition deals. This, of course, has raised questions about succession politics and the opposition strategy. The question I want to ask you on this, I'm quite sure you watched the rally in Kisumu and how branded they were. They have spent a lot of money, and I remember seeing the MCA of Kilelesho, Bwana Robert Alai, questioning the need for the party to spend a lot of money in branding branding the vehicles which were going to be used just for a specific day. And ODM has spent a lot, the Oburu's faction. The question I want to ask you, if you watched each of those leaders speaking, and of course the crowd, there was a huge crowd, and it is being said that, it is being said that, there's a huge number of people who are ferried to this particular rally. Some of them from the different counties, Migori, Kisii, Homa Bay, they were ferried to attend this particular rally. So the question I want to ask you, Bwana Msimamo, if you watched that, and I saw also again when the senator of Kisumu, who has been always accused of arranging the issues of goon that partly attacked Senator, the Vega senator. When he stood to speak, the people stopped, and he was being shown all these kind of things that he should not speak. What is your view on what happened in Kisumu, the people coming out and everything, Bwana Msimamo?
Unajua kaka, hawa kawaida yao wamerithi kile ambacho kule ambako wanafungamana nako, na siasa ya huko, mambo yanayofanyika huko. So wamerithi kabisa, yani wametoka katika ule uasilia wa ODM. Yani ODM ilikuwa ni chama ambacho kinapendwa tu bure, kutokana na kiongozi wake ambaye alikuwa iko imara haswa kuzungumza na kukaa na Wakenya na kutangamana nao na kuzungumzia kwa ajili ya wao. So ukirudi katika mbwembe hizi ambazo tumeziona, mipango ambayo tumeiona, lakini hata umati ule ambao kwa kweli ulikuwa umefurika sawa, lakini ukitazama haswa body language ile haswa kwa kina, utagundua kwamba yani kulikuwa na unyamavu. Yani si ule muhemko tulishuhudia ule wakati wa Babu akitembea na miguu kwa masaa kama mawili hivi kabla wafikia haswa maeneo fulani, ile muhemko na furaha na bashasha ile kuwepo haswa kwa wananchi wale. So nagundua fika hapa kwamba kama kuna yale ambayo wameweza kuyafanya kuleta wengine kutoka kaunti zingine, basi la kwanza wanakosa kujiamini, pili wanaamini fika hawangepata theluthi inayohitajika haswa ya watu ambao wangeweza kuonekana haswa kuipa nguvu haswa upande hiyo ama kambi hiyo. Kwa hiyo kwa kweli ni mkutano ambao umepangwa, wamesafirishwa na mkataba na nini, lakini it's not the reality kama ambavyo tulishuhudia wakati ule na ambavyo tumeshuhudia sasa hivi upande ule wa Ukambani kulikokuwa walinda mwananchi. Hilo la kwanza. La pili ni maudhui yapi mapya? Je, wamejifundisha nini? Wako tayari kuweza kuungana pamoja na kuja haswa kama kitu kimoja? Lakini hili kwa kweli haswa limegonga mwamba kufikia leo, kwamba wao wanaamini na misingi yao ya kusimama na serikali, lakini vile vile pia wanaamini kwamba na masuala na kama vile 10 point agenda, tena kitengo maalum, wale kipengele maalum kile cha kuwalipa haswa fidia wale ambao hawaweza kuathirika kwa njia moja ama nyingine wakati huo. So kiukweli utakuta kwamba bado wako pale pale mwanzo walipokuwa kwa power, unaona. So unakuta kwamba ni shairi dhahiri kwamba ODM kwa kweli imegawanyika katika pande mbili. Kwa hivyo huyu anavuta na huyu anavuta, unaona. So linda ground za hizo na ODM ambayo ilikuwa Kisumu pamoja na viongozi wote, unakuta kwamba yani hakukuwa na ule uchangamfu
yani ulikuwa finyu zaidi, kutokana kwamba maneno ni yale yale ambao walikuwa wanazungumza, pointi agenda hizo, pointi zote ambazo zimesomwa pale, yani hakuna jipya pale. Kwa kama resolution wasema kwamba kama community, sisi kama community lazima na sisi tujipange. Hii si mbaya kuzungumzia community, lakini je, katika hali gani ama mikono ya mtu nani ambayo mnamwachia? So unagundua fika kwamba hawa bado wako katika mkataba wao. Asante. Wao katika mkataba wao wa kuungana na UDA, yani hawajatoka hapo. So nafikiri hilo ndo kubwa zaidi, na wanaamini kwamba wao ndo wenye chama zaidi, hao wengine wababaishaji. Lakini ukirudi katika uhalisia unagundua sasa chama kiko huku na wanachama huku ni viongozi ndo wako huku tu. Asante.
Okay. Thank you so much, Bwana Msimamo. And the other painful thing that has happened to this country, I think let me just finish up with the Ebola thing first. And there has been a lot of tension. Reports of Ebola has done what we call raising the public health fears. At the time, the US-Kenya contract has been met with rejection by many Kenyans who see it as compromising sovereignty. And, you know, the health practitioners, they have rejected this move. The professionals, the LSK, they have rejected this move. The governor of Laikipia and the people of Laikipia has rejected this move. Quite a number of people have rejected this move. And the question I want to ask you, Bwana Msimamo, just again, still on this issue of Ebola, because this is life and death that we are currently having over here. If the professionals, remember the health practitioners are the ones who do what we call, they're the front runners and they're the experts in this particular field. And I saw their statement, was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? They're saying that Kenya do not have the capacity currently to deal with this particular virus. And if the health experts are the ones who are coming out, Bwana Msimamo, to give this particular, move, or to give this particular say that Kenya is not ready, let those people not come. What does that tell you? If the professionals, the LSK and others are also coming out to do the same, the governor, remember health is devolved, Bwana Msimamo, health is devolved, and the county governments have the full capacity to make the decisions on issues about, health matters. I saw a number of people saying that it is the worst and they're not going to accept it. And again, that it is also being said that public participation, there is nobody who was asked. The governor himself is not aware, was not even asked of the same. Msimamo, the health practitioners, the professionals, everybody in Kenya. Remember, this is one of those things that will not care whether you have the best medical, whether you have the best insurance or what. It is the deadliest. It is actually more powerful than what we saw with COVID, because it does not even have, vaccine. Msimamo,
kiukweli kulungu mwoga basi ukimbiza pembe yake. Nadhani hawa madaktari wanapembeza pembe yao mapema, maana wanaelewa fika athari ya ugonjwa, lakini vile vile wale wanahusika na masuala ya afya na wengine ambao wanania swafi, unaona. So kwa kweli ikiwa wao waswa ni wataalamu na wameona kwamba hili gonjwa si lele mama tu, yani si kitu kwamba ni cha kuchezea, then nana lazima haswa kwamba hili lifanyike, basi ikiwa litafanyika na wamo viongozi na wajumbe ama wabunge wale wetu wa bunge la 13 kama watafiki hili ama watu watakaa katika mkao, basi wao ndo ambao haswa kama wananchi naweza nikasema tunaanza na wao na kuwasalimia kidogo, maana hizi salamu kwa kweli ziliachwa, lakini ilikuwa zinaleta tija, kwa sababu si jambo ambalo ni la kuchezea haswa hili la ugonjwa. Hivyo nadhani mimi, ikiwa madaktari tu wanaogopa, je, si ambao ni wananchi wa kawaida, nani haswa wa kutuokolea hili? Ikiwa haswa wao wataalamu wenyewe wana mashaka nalo haswa, je, si wananchi haswa tuko na nani? Hatima yetu iko wapi kuhusiana hili? So kwa kweli unagundua fika kwamba hili jambo litashindikana, piga ua, lakini mimi sina shaka na imani kwamba litashindikana, na naomba Wakenya wenzangu haswa ambao wanania swafu na viongozi wale wa dini na wale viongozi pia wa siasa ambao wanafunga kama United Opposition ama Linda Mwananchi kama vile ambao wamezungumza leo, basi moto huu uwashwe zaidi na chepukizi hawajenzi uwashwe zaidi, tuonefika kwamba haswa sauti hii ikiwa nyingi hii, tuone kama sauti nyingi hii ya wenye kupinga, basi tuone haswa hawa kidogo watakokuwa na wanaamini hili watafanya lipi? Je, watafanya kwa sababu wako na pawa, wako na nguvu, wako na serikali, ama watafuata kile ambacho mwananchi wamekuzungumza? Kwa hiyo bwana Amerika abaki na hela zake, atafute kwao, atengeneze kwao, ama atafute nchi nyingine, si yetu. Kwa sababu ikiwa madaktari wameingia wasiwasi kama hii na wametoka waziwazi wamesema kwamba hili jambo si la mama, basi sisi Wakenya wengine hatuna letu isipokuwa ni kuungana na wao haswa kikamilifu, wanafika kwamba hili jambo haliwi haswa katika hili taifa letu. Asante.
Thank you, Bwana Msimamo. And something else that I think this is a discussion that will still go on. It is one of those discussions that that will be giving us, or that will be giving a lot of pressure, a lot of discussion in the Republic of Kenya. It is something that I can say is between life and death. And again, it is one of those things that Kenyans are very keen about, and not just Kenyans. Even the leaders who are cognizant of the fact that they are human beings, I'm quite sure that they partly understand what this would mean. Because remember, this is a disease, according to what we've always seen. It is one that is very pathetic, one that does not care who you are. And to make it worse, it does not have any vaccine. And that would then mean that everybody is at risk. And remember, we are going towards the campaign period. And the campaign period, again, is it simply means that people would be getting to, I mean, there would be a lot of gathering here and there. That then explains the fact that there is a probability that it might get, or there's a lot of people who might get affected with this particular disease. And I think it's a discussion that Kenyans need to fully wake up and speak about, because if they don't, it is coming. And from what we are seeing today, we are being told that there were some planes that had already landed in that particular airbase in Laikipia. Yeah, so I'll just leave it at that point. Ours as a people is, we will be here looking at how it's going to, how it's going to unfold. We're waiting to see, possibly next week. We've never seen or heard from any government official officially speaking about this and even giving guidelines or possible preparations that they have before giving this particular green light for the quarantine to be placed. Yeah, so it's a discussion. We will still have, a discussion about it. Bwana Msimamo, let's get to this other segment. Utumishi Girls Fire, where on May 28th, I can say that tragedy struck at Utumishi Girls in Nakuru. But what we are seeing today in news is very frightening, because partly what was believed to be maybe malfunctioning of maybe electricity or all those kind of things, CCTV footages are revealing something different, that it might be possible from what the CCTV is revealing that some students around 7 or 6 might deliberately have lit the dormitory fire, killing 16 and injuring dozens. This has sparked outrage and calls for mandatory CCTV in all the schools. And the question I want to hear from you, Bwana Msimamo, the issue of Utumishi Girls, you know, remember, just put yourself in the shoes of these parents. You've taken your children to school, and then something like this. Some other children have decided that they're going to maybe light the fire, and then this fire has consumed and has killed 16 lives of children, of students. What is happening, Bwana Msimamo? What could be lacking in our schools? What might have led to these particular students to make such a move, very painful move, a move that would end up killing quite a number of their schoolmates, their fellow students? And which kind of lessons are we learning from this? Did they give warnings? Bwana Msimamo, tupe maoni yako on this.
Kwanza nitoe rambirambi zangu tena kwa mara nyingine kwa wale waliondokewa na wapendwa wao, haswa wanafunzi wale. Mungu azilaze roho za marehemu hao, haswa mahali pema peponi, lakini pia nguvu zitiwe kwa hawa ambao wameondokewa, kwa sababu hakuna jambo ambalo linatokea bila kusudio lake aliye mkuu. Hivyo wale walinusurika pia ni waombee, afu wale ambao walipata majeraha waombee afueni ya haraka, na wale ambao walinusurika pia ni watie moyo vile vile kwamba yote ni mipango ya Mungu. Kaka, hii jambo la hii shule ni kizungumkuti, kwa sababu mwisho wa siku ikiwa ni wao kwa wao wenyewe, basi kulikuwa kuna shida gani ambayo haswa wale ambao wanasimamia shule hizo hawakuigundua mapema kwamba kuna mipango ambayo pengine inapangika haswa kwa jambo kama hilo? Sababu mwisho wa siku unagundua kwamba kama ni wale kweli wasichana ambao waliweza kufanya lile, lazima kuna sababu, kuna chanzo, kuna jambo linafanyika kwa hakuna sababu. Sababu ni nini hivyo hadi wale wasichana wachukua maamuzi ya kufanya hivyo, kwenda kuchoma na wenzi wao? Kwa kweli hili jambo lina kizungumkuti kingi, ila tu nasema hivi, ili wizara ya masuala haya ya elimu haswa iweke mikakati ya tija zaidi, kuona kwamba mabweni yanajengwa ya kisasa, lakini yenye ambayo itakuwa na unafuu zaidi, hakuweza kuona kwamba yanaweza kuwatoa wanafunzi kwa haraka zaidi kuliko hili ambayo tulishuhudia juzi. Wanakimbizana na kumilia madirisha, maana milangoni hakukaliki, mlangoni kumejaa pomoni, wengine wakatumika kwa madirisha, wengine hivyo. Unagundua kwamba labda miundombinu hii inafaa kuboreshwa zaidi, ili haswa wizara hii inasimama na masuala na elimu, kuona kwamba usalama wa wanafunzi wale pindi itakapotokea ajali kama hii, basi wana njia ambazo ni mbadala za kuweza kujinasua. Lakini vile vile pia kuna zile vyombo vya fire extinguisher na kadhalika, mafunzo yale ambayo ya kukabiliana na sasa ama jambo la dharura kama lile, basi wanafunzi wapewe haswa hiyo elimu, unaona. Lakini kubwa nikimalizia zaidi ni kwamba haswa waalimu wawe macho, matrons na kadhalika, wale wanasimamia wawe macho haswa wanafika kwamba wakiona jambo haliendi sawa, basi wasingoje haswa mpaka liwe kubwa zaidi. Kama pengine ni wanafunzi wanapanga tabia zisizokuwa na tija, basi wapewe suspension waende nyumbani, na wakirudi wakuje na wazazi wao, ili haswa lije lijadiliwe kwa kina, liwe ni mwanzo na mwisho. Lakini kama itakwenda hivyo, mipango iende chini ya maji na CCTV zipo, everything zipo, ipangike haswa, wanafunzi wapange mpaka wakatimize hili, basi sometimes inakuwa inauma, kwa sababu mwisho wa siku wazazi wengi wameweza kufocus na kuweza kuuza vyao kwa ajili ya wanafunzi au watoto wao kuendeleza haswa na masomo. So ikikatwa hafla hii ndoto, basi inakuwa ni uchungu haswa kwa wazazi wale, unaona. Kwa hiyo mimi hilo tunataka kuliongezea kaka yangu kwa leo, haswa kuhusiana na lile ambalo lilijiri haswa kule kwa shule hilo iliyopata huo mkasa, unaona. Kwa hiyo mikakati iwekwe haswa yenye tija, lakini pia vile vile kaunti ziwajibike. Hii masuala nafaa kwamba mnaambiwa kuna dharura mahali, gari lazima moto linamaliza ni saa tena linakuja kujikokota mno. Sometimes majanga kama haya yakitokea, basi kaunti iwajibike, lakini vile vile wengine haswa wawajibike kunusuru haswa kabla ya mambo mengine, kwa uharaka uwe wa zaidi kuweza kufikia maeneo yale, kuliko kwamba kuwe na kujikokota mpaka wakifika mambo yashaharibika, kama vile tulishuhudia juzi. Ndio wengi walijitahidi haswa Red Cross na wengine wenye nia swafi, lakini hata kipindi ambacho kulikuwa kuna tayari moto ushazagaa. Kwa hiyo kuwe na huo karibu haswa wa vyombo kama hivyo kufika mahali husika kwa dharura hizo kwa wakati zaidi. Mimi nitaongezea hapo kaka yangu haswa kwa leo katika hilo. Asante.
Okay, thank you Bwana Msimamo for your take. Allow me once again to acknowledge everyone who has joined us. Allow me to say a big thank you, and again to remind our viewers that this is Brother Benson Media. We are also live in our sister channel Kikao na Sauti, and over here we do say that your opinion counts, and as usual we've always invited our viewers to give their views and of course to share their views at the comment section as a way of interacting with us and letting us know of their presence. If you're watching for the first time, kindly like and subscribe to the channel. There were some comments here which I just want to read before we move on. Okay, and maybe on the issue of Arsenal, before I read the comments, I saw Judith has always been here and there. Akituambia how Arsenal had won, and we're also just here to remind Judith that we acknowledge that mlichukua trophy, or you guys won, and we didn't want to see that kind of humiliation everywhere. We didn't want to see every street in Nairobi and everywhere. You know, the Arsenal people have always thought that they're the only people who exist. And so the game that was there yesterday simply reminded the Arsenal fans that it is not all about Arsenal. And majority of people who went to watch that game, most of the ones who do not support Arsenal, they just wanted at least one goal. They wanted at least a win from the PSG because that slightly slowed down the humiliation, that slowed down kelele mingi, sifa mingi, kujisikia. I don't know how to even describe all those. But our friend Judith, wherever you are, some of us are happy. I know you also console yourself that you won the other time. So it is life. Yeah, so I'll read some few comments here and we'll give our views before I give Msimamo chance to give his final, his final views. Okay. Judith here was saying that Ruto is welcoming. Remember, mwakaribishwa Kenya yetu hakuna matata, haikuwa hivyo. Okay. And Goodyear is saying that remember, Ebola is worse than any known virus. Very true. Msimamo, I'll give you a chance. Kindly note this. I'll give you a chance to give your views on the comments. Goodyear is saying that remember, Ebola is worse than any known virus. Good. We won the league while you were away. Yes, we know that you won the league, but like I've said, I'll not speak much on that. Nobody has ever defeated it, and yet Kasongo is bringing it here. Okay. Africa has become a dumping ground. It used to be Asia, but they have woken up. The problem with African leaders is greed, apart from countries like Rwanda. Okay, people say women love money. Is Ruto Chebet Waithera? His greed should be studied. I went to Budapest to watch the PSG versus Gunners. We named it Hating on Arsenal Watch. Thank you so much, Goodyear. Thank you so much, Goodyear. Judith is saying we healed. We have healed. You've not healed. And we are here. We are going to show you guys that you've not healed. Aha. There's also this comment. Did you see? There was a comment here. Why opposition party not talking about blocking the Ebola project? They can start from there because at the moment they don't have a strong mandate to stand on. Okay. By the way, Judith, will send you. Okay. Thank you. I'll share with you a contact here. I'm trying to find that contact. I'll put it in the screen in a few. Can you pass me the number? I'm sharing that. Just a minute. I'm sharing with you that Goodyear in a few. I fear for 2027 we lose a lot of lives. Kasongo will be the CEO, and most of the united opposition will be joining Ruto's camp. It's sick but true. Bribes come before the public's living standards. They have designated Gate 16 at JKIA to welcome the Ebola victims. Did you see the 5 beds and 2 cupboards of bottles of medicine pathetics? Our neighbors have closed their borders while Kenya is an open gate. And then there was arson is nasty. There are always wicked characters in group of people. I agree. In boarding school, right from the head teacher to matron, they should know their students because they are their guardian. Judith, chill out there. Come out if you have healed. Judith will not come out now. Yeah, so Msimamo, I'll give you a chance to give your views on the comments, and possibly after that you can give us your last remarks. Good dear, I'm trying to find the number. I'm sharing with you in a few. Meanwhile, msimamo, kuja tupe maoni yako. If you're there, msimamo. Msimamo, are you there? Msimamo? Okay, as we wait for Msimamo to come and give his views, allow me to partly just take you through what we've discussed today, where we've seen the Linda Mwananchi team, that is the likes of Edwin Sifuna, Babu, James Orengo and the team. They were in Machakos. Of course, as usual, reminding the people of what they stand for and what they're fighting for, where they also gave a government an ultimatum that should they not stop the issue of Ebola quarantine, which they want to build in Kenya for the United States of America, they will lead the people on the street. On the other side, Rigathi Gachagua and the other team of Kalonzo and others are also demanding that the US respect the Kenya's constitution and sovereignty. This follows the rising suspicion of foreign influence in the Kenyan politics. The US Kenya contract has sparked outrage, with Kenyans rejecting their plea or their wish of building the quarantine in the Republic of Kenya. And again, not forgetting the Madaraka Day, which I wanted to get Msimamo take. Msimamo, are you there? Kindly confirm if you're there before we finish this particular Msimamo. I think Msimamo is having a problem. I don't know whether it is his network or what exactly. Yeah, so tomorrow again, as I wait for him, we'll be having the Madaraka Day. Remember, tomorrow is 1st of June. And Kenyans will be having Madaraka Day. And this year's Madaraka Day is historic. It will be held in Wajir for the first time. And the government has invested in infrastructure and themed the celebration around education, skills, and the future. Symbolically, it's about inclusion, but critics say it's political optics. So the question that people are asking is, does holding Madaraka in Wajir symbolizes genuine inclusion, or it is just political optics? Those are some of the views that are out here. And I can see Brother Ben. Brother Ben, are you there? Kindly say hi to our viewers before we proceed.
Okay, how are you doing, Makobura, and how is everyone doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Nashukuru Mola.
Are you quarantined or you are headed towards the facility of quarantine?
As we are I'm only ready for my life and the life of fellow Kenyans. When I'm called to get to the street to remind the government that Kenyans' lives matter, I will not hesitate. But I will
like,
get there very early in the morning.
from the sources that I'm getting, it is that there were the 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 doctors, like there's supposed to be 300, like 30 doctors, 30 experts who are supposed to come to the country, and I think like the construction or putting up of the facility is ongoing despite the court ruling.
Yeah, that is what we're also finding on the ground. But the question that we're asking is, America has always they've always spoken of how democratic, how they respect the institutions and the constitution. The question that Kenyans are asking is if it is true that Americans respect the constitution and the rule of law, they have to acknowledge the fact that Kenya has a constitution, Kenya has how it operates, and within that particular constitution, and of course the doctrines of power within the republic, it has to be respected. That is why Kenya is a nation, it controls itself. At this point, the Kenyan courts are very clear. They have stopped this particular matter. And if America, together with Kenya, the leaders respect the constitution, then the best thing they're supposed to be doing is halting or stopping as they wait for the court's direction. But what we are seeing is, they do not care.
Makobura,
Yes,
let
proceed.
me speed, especially when there was a ruling, especially when the Kenya police were taken to Haiti. There was a pronouncement that were made by the courts, and the president and the government went against that. And when you look at some other even like judgment that have been always given, especially the ones that are barring or stopping the government from proceeding with a particular um, event or a particular uh, proceedings, but you find that majority of the times, around 99% of those court rulings, the administration in place have always gone against that. And there's something that I heard the Ministry of the Ministry of Health was saying, Adan Dwele, when he was hosted on one of the TV station the other day. The facility that is going to be put up in Laikipia is not for Kenyans. That is something that people have to know. The facilities are going to are going to be dedicated to Americans who are exposed. Yeah, who
And
exposed.
that's so strange.
And let me
It is
just
very
say,
strange. Yes, proceed.
who are exposed. Then there was a money that was given to Kenya in exchange for that. That money is what the government is going to use as a precautionary measures or putting in place their sites where they should quarantine, especially if their patients are exposed. So there were two rulings that were made on that day. Yeah. One, it was stopping any other citizen entering the country who is exposed by Ebola. Two, there was a ruling that at that facility, the construction should not take place pending hearing on, I think it was on 2nd, if not 2nd, I think 3rd of June. Yeah. So, yeah, I can see Goodyear saying that Laikipia is where the foreign grounds, the Britain are already there. Oh, okay, maybe. So those are the rulings that were made.
Hmm. It you know it is so strange. To me, it is strange because just like schools, and partly just like the questions that people are asking here and there. Msimamo, are you there? Kindly confirm if you are there. Bwana Msimamo? I don't know what's wrong with Msimamo.
Okay, maybe he has an internet issue. So, and So we don't know how, you know, setting up um uh setting up that facility is not a problem. The problem is, one, the preparedness. Another question is, because like I was I was following up on other news, and the reason why they are saying that that facility has been established there is because looking at the at the long hours of travel. So because if they travel from Congo direct to their destination in America, that is long hours, and that one might put their lives at risk, you know. So they need a place whereby they can come quarantine them. Once they get better, they're being flown out.
Still, either way, based on what scientists and the experts are saying about this particular disease called Ebola, it is a very strange disease. It is one when,
Contagious.
yes, it is one that there is no virus, there is no any medication, there is no easy way of controlling this particular virus. And it is one of those things that do not care. It catches you, it goes with you. This is Africa, and Kenya, being part of the African nation, as you know, even if you look at the COVID, look at when the medication came, look at the countries that are always put first or are always considered as the ones that need the medication whenever medication or whenever there is any approved vaccination. It has always been America, it has always been the European, and then Africa then comes last. So in this particular scenario, Africa, with a little investment in health, with the little resources that they have in terms of managing these particular diseases, how then, how then, or what kind of explanation would then United States of America try to give if they are endangering more the lives of the people of Africa and more so the people of Kenya, if they are exporting this thing from DRC to Kenya? Remember, Kenya currently has no indication, I mean, recorded, it has not recorded any Ebola case. But with the introduction of these particular people who have been exposed, it is simply without using any other, making it tough or what, it is importing a disease that is so dangerous to the people. And remember, the constitution of the Republic of Kenya is also very clear. Anything that is regarding or is going to affect the lives of the people of Kenya, public participation has to take place. There is no one who knew such a thing until the other day, when now Kenyans got to know about it, and then they started doing their own investigation, and it is coming out that there was a contract, and the contract here has the repercussions here and there. Why is it that governments are getting into deals
Marco Bura,
affecting the people without their knowledge?
Marco Bura,
Yes.
the contract that was signed between Kenya, this one was signed by the President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. You know, this one was not about the contagious diseases that happens. No, because those are just like, because like there was that collaboration was signed, but that one was not about the diseases. You know, when you look at the history of America, for instance, on how they've dealt with contagious diseases, especially for Americans who are abroad, even the first Ebola that happened, Americans have the universities that when they do those, the universities that when they do those treatments, it is one that they study. They also carry out a study on that, you know. But now, this is now where maybe the questions are coming. Forget about even the setting up and all that. What we need to question is the capability of our health system. How the preparedness of our health system. Talk of first responders, because remember, don't only look at the patients, but you also have to look at the doctors. Do they have enough gloves? Do they have enough uh, um, robes? You know, all those. Then come to the system. Do we have enough facilities that can quarantine a lot of people? You know, so those are the questions that we are asking. Because remember, I don't know who was talking about Kisumu, Eldoret, and where this is the places that they've built this. Uh, According to what I heard, Dwale was saying, like one of them is built in Kenyatta Police National Hospital. There's one that is built in Kisumu, Eldoret, and now let's take that somebody is affected or somebody has been exposed. This person is in Nairobi. At what kind of mod transport facility or mode of transport they are going to use, especially to transport this person from one location to another location, if those locations are um, are full, and what is the capacity of those locations?
Okay, thank you so much. And can see Goodyear is saying that these same foreign ads are not even ready to look after the northern Kenyans who are suffering. Each country should look after their own modern slavery still. There's also this comment, they're using Kenya as an experiment center, and Uhuru is still quiet.
Yeah, so
Yes, Gumbo?
Makobura, it is I don't know how they will it is going to be handled. And let's just wait for court rulings whether President William Ruto will go against the cost. Then another thing is about if indeed the money has been given, how is this money being used, or how are we procuring, especially the protective gears and all that? That is something that Makobura, it is still um, it is still not very easy to comprehend, especially uh, on how this one will be, because like we are looking at our health system. Our health system is not in terms of even technology. We are not so much high tech, especially when it comes to um, technology in medicine. We do not have facilities that usually carry out those research. If you look at America, especially, there's an hospital in Chicago. I just forgotten the name. That they usually have infectious disease where they study these diseases. There are those doctors who are specialized in infectious disease. You know, when you go to their CDC headquarters, those facilities are there. But do we have those facilities? Do you think the money that maybe we've been given, according to the reports on the media, will be enough, especially to cater for our citizen? Because, like, you had the Secretary of State saying that their main priority is to keep Americans safe. America is the first priority. And what does that one mean? It means that somebody who has been, or anybody who has been exposed with Ebola, is not allowed to enter United States, including the American citizens who are exposed already. They don't allow, because they know the veracity, or they know the danger that if it comes, or if it spreads, how much is it going to cost them? But why is it that we are not considering that, and we have to look at what how are we prepared? in other words, we can talk about being proactive. How are we proactive in terms of even letting the public know the signs? What should we do? What are the precautionary measures? Like right now, as the country, we know we are not yet exposed. Yes, none of our citizens is not yet exposed. But now, what are the precautionary measures that actually me and you, apart from what government is doing, that we should take, especially when we notice uh, um, signs that you feel you're suspecting, you feel like this is a sign, abnormal sign, where can I go and report, and how can we trace those? So those are some of the things that we should put in place. And how are we keeping our datas? What are we going to do with our borders? So those are some of the things, that the questions that we need to ask and need to be answered. And I had some leaders like was it governor for Mombasa was saying that if President William Ruto can take that facility to Mombasa, it's not an issue of taking facility to Mombasa. This is where uh, uh, some of our leaders are getting it wrong. It is not taking it to Mombasa or taking it to Nyanza or taking it to everywhere. We are looking at how preparedness we are all, whether you take it to Mombasa, there are still Kenyans there. You don't want to tell me that the people in Mombasa are not Kenyans. When you bring it to Kisumu, there's still Kenyans in Kisumu. So even in Laikipia, those are Kenyans. So it is preparedness in our healthcare system. How prepared are we in our healthcare? Patients, the doctors, and we call them the first responders. How are we prepared? You've gone to these hospitals whereby you find that they're not even gloves. You've seen those? So that preparedness, that is the question, and how can we contain it? But if we cannot contain it, what is left for us? So that is some of the things that.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I think maybe I can give you a chance, Brother Ben, to also just give a small view on the Madaraka, which is happening tomorrow. And this year's Madaraka Day is historic. It will be held in Wajir for the first time. And we've seen the government invested in infrastructure and themed the celebrations around education, skills, and the future. Symbolically, it's about inclusion, but critics say it's political optics. So you can give us your view on that and possibly your final remarks. And then there was also a comment here from Goodyear
Mm-hmm.
had requested. Let me just put it for you so that you can see. Um, um, Goodyear was here having a conversation with Judith, and he said that he'll be sending a card for the graduation because he'll not be attending. And then he asked that we share that number.
Mm-hmm.
Pass me the number again, please. I'm using a different gadget, so you can assist with that.
So I cannot. I don't know whether I can get or I can get on. Let me see.
Yeah, unless you write it from the studio side, and then you can pin it kidogo.
Okay, let me see.
Yeah. So, how many times do we celebrate Madaraka in a year? It's just once every 1st June.
Yeah.
Yes. And this one is going to be celebrated in Wajir, something that is coming for the first time.
No, it's okay, because if you remember very well, even during the time of immediately after the 2010 constitution, it would say that all these holidays they will be going in different counties, just everybody to feel included in the national government or to feel part of this celebration. It is really, really historic, especially on part of President William Ruto, because this is the first time in the history of Kenya that such a big celebration is taken to Northeastern. You can even bear me witness on what has happened in the field, where there will be that celebration. They've really carpeted it well. They've created the seats over there. So, as you know, President William Ruto also is looking for the second term. That one will at least boost his votes in those areas because he has made a history. Remember also in the same Northeastern, President William Ruto uh, talked about the issue to do with the ID, whereby the laws that were put in place, especially when it come to vetting in the Northeastern, President William Ruto really removed them. So, apart from it being historic, but also there's elements of politics that is going to boost President William Ruto votes, especially in that area. That is a fact. We cannot deny that. Makubura, would you check if those numbers are
Okay. Yeah, it's okay. It's
okay?
okay. Yeah, I'm asking if you still have time. I can ask you more questions, or you.
Maybe 5 minutes.
Okay, just your own view. I believe you saw what had happened to Michigan's fire. It is now coming out that a number of around 6 or 7 students might have come out at around 12 to lit the fire that later on consumed or killed the 16 girls in that particular school. They're seen within the CCTV moving around and, engaging in that demonic act. In your own view, Brother Benson, and as somebody who has interacted with these young people, what might have been the issue, and how can we get out of this? What
You know,
can we do in the country so that we don't get into this kind of activities?
there's what happened. Sometimes it meant to happen in these institutions. But as somebody who is in this big institution, there's what we call red flags, the telltale. Because Makubura, me and you, I think we've gone through high school. We've been in campuses. If there is an incident or a planned incident in school, there must be somebody who must say it somewhere, and somebody will have to leak it. And these are some of the things that the red flags that you see, because like at the same time there were teachers who I'm told, I don't know how true that is, but they were told about the strike that was supposed to happen, you know but maybe they did not take action. So but now look at what happened to these kids. You are directing your energy at the wrong places. I can remember there was a time when we were in high school and people were not agreeing with the principal. What we did, we went and sat in the field for the whole day. Nobody wanted to come to class, you know, because we knew very well that if we do something destructive, at the end of the day, our parents are going to be liable for it. So what did we do? We had to go sit in the field. There was also a day in campus when I think there was a lecturer who was I think he was teaching us quantitative techniques. It was more or less of math, and people just had a negative attitude towards the lecturer. So there was a time people were saying, now we need to go on strike so that we need to get a new lecturer. And you know, the peace had to prevail, and we had to had a conversation with ourselves and say that, and if we do that, this is the only lecturer who say that he's the best in the QT. So where are we going to get the other one? And later we came to realize that a majority of us, or many of us, had just developed negative attitude towards the lecturer, just because there were few who felt like they are not agreeing with the lecturer, and like you find that the majority kicked in. So even the students who did that, if they had grievances that are very grave, I think like burning the dormitory was the last thing that they would have done. They could even go to the administration block to put their frustration on, you know. So, and that is one. Then another thing is that this thing also has exposed, especially on the what we could the safeguards that we usually have in our schools. You know, things like smoke detectors, things like you know, emergency exit. Because like if you're in the first floor, how are you going to exit if the fire comes from the door? How are you going to exit and you're in the first floor? No, that one is not possible. So be proactive in their thing, or not even the government, the people who are building or constructing this dormitory that are story dormitory buildings. They should be proactive enough to create exit, emergency exit, like staircase, just in case there's emergency exit, the people can push. And these doors, they cannot be opened from outside, especially emergency exit. They can just, majority of them are being opened from inside. So when you open it from inside, it is safe, because like if you put an emergency door whereby you can open it from outside and you believe that the security matters, sometimes is also. And another thing that also should be done is fire drills, especially do the fire drills with the kids and let them know in case there's fire, how do we evacuate, or how do I evacuate? What should I do in the event there's a fire breakout? What do I do? You see those are some of the things now you should start discussing with the students. Yeah, if there's fire and you have to know what is the direction. We have even like the fire extinguishers. Where should we find the fire extinguishers, especially to contain? How can we contain fire when we are waiting for the assistance? So those are some of the things, Makobura, that should be put in place. So the blame squarely goes on the government, the people who approved the exits, and the head teacher, and the teacher might be who got the information that there was something like that. And to the students, this is something that the law is, you are going to find it very rough, because the law is not going to be very kind to you that you are a student, because people have lost their lives.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for also finding time to give us your view and just giving us your take. We appreciate so much, and I want to take this opportunity
Oh,
to remind our viewers.
did you
Sorry?
discuss about Kirembe?
Yes, we gave our views on it, and that's why I was asking if you have time. Possibly we can
Okay,
hear
maybe
from you as well.
maybe maybe to give a nutshell, because I hope tomorrow we will have a discussion with Musimamo before you tomorrow at around 6. To me, when I look at what happened in Kisumu, and the mobilization that they did, and the number of time they were in Kisumu, especially the leaders, I think that the meeting did not kind of like achieved his agenda. That is one. Secondly, when you look at the meeting was about to outwit the Sifunas and Babu rally. That was their main agenda. That is what they were supposed to do in terms of numbers, you know. But if you look at it, it tells you, yes, there was number, but there was a big mobilization. Look at the resolution that came out from the Kirembe. You know, they were talking about the Ebola. Do you want to tell me for 1 week that is what you've been coming? Because like when you're coming with the declaration, which means this was Kisumu there are some of the things that you are going to declare, you know. So Ebola was not one of them, because this could have been like a 2 month uh, uh, um, uh, program that were event that were planned for 2 months. Another thing that they're missing the point that nobody should engage the community through other avenues apart from ODM. You see that? So does it mean that the democracy, there are some people can express their will openly? The resolution was not read by the Secretary General, but it was read by the chair lady. So it depicted that party to be like the Luo party. Because if the resolution of the party, these are the resolutions of the party, and the ODM is a national party, they are making a declaration in Kisumu. Who was supposed to read the declaration is the Secretary General, who is Omanyo, who did not do that. So I think what they were trying to do, actually, they were ambushed with what happened with Wakina Edwin Sifuna. So they wanted to outdo them. But at the end of the day, I think like they've got it wrong. Listen to what Anyang Nyong'o said, you know, because that they thought Anyang Nyong'o would say two-term, but Anyang Nyong'o was taking a neutral ground if you listen to him very well. Then there was some observation that also you can make out of that. One, Otiende Molo, who is the deputy chairperson, was missing. I don't know whether I saw Otiende Molo. That is one. Two, Eddie Okech, I don't know whether he is back in the country. That is a senator from Migori, a youthful senator, was missing. Three, we had who was also missing. There was also Milio Diambo was missing, you know. So this one tells you like there's something that is wrong. If you look at even when Wanga they did not have that organic crowd, you know, the way they were perceiving it to be. So they did not meet the threshold. That is what I think.
Okay, maybe your take on the Linda Mwananchi team in Machakos and in Mlolongo.
The Linda team, it is organic. You would see. To forget about the crowd, but you would see the energy, the connection between people and uh, and the leaders. The money that they used, ODM used a lot of money to mobilize that. Look at even the stage, that stage alone. Yeah. Even when Raila was around, they could not do that stage where they have those lights. It used to be stage, yes, but those lights were not there. They had to bring in so many musicians and come in, you know. So I think Linda Mwananchi tend to connect well with the people. Then another thing also that they should do to encounter Linda Mwananchi, let them also go to other counties. Yeah, because so that they can take away that tag of this is a Luo event. Like ODM is turning to be a Luo party. So that is my take. Mm,
There's a question there from Goodyear.
mhm.
Was Mila Diambo not in Ruto's bill signing in the State House the other day?
Yeah, Millie Odhiambo, she was, but let me tell you, there is a lot of infights within ODM. One, if today you're very keen, you heard what Oburu said, that if he doesn't want to be a leader whereby people are fighting, and if people feel that, if he feels that he is one person who is going to create disunity in the party, he can. Look at even how Oburu was talking. He was not even energizing. You know, compared to the era of Raila, when Raila would come on stage, before even he make announcement, it would be massive. Like the people will be so much energized, like But look at what happened. Even he spoke in the vernacular, so um that is that. And another person who was missing again, I don't know whether I saw him. Maybe you can tell me. The senator for Homa Bay, Otieno Kajwang. I don't know whether he was around.
I didn't
Otieno?
see him. I only saw the agenda,
Yeah.
and the agenda was trying to speak, but people were really heckling him.
So when you look at the senators from Luo County, um, Oburu was there. He doubles up as a senator. Agenda for Kisumu. Then Migori was not there. Senator for Homa Bay was not there. So that is Luo, because like this was a Luo nation. So their senators were missing, apart from Oburu and Ojenda. So two of them were missing. Then come to Millie Odhiambo. Yeah, Millie Odhiambo has been sitting in the fence for a long time. Ruth Odinga was there. Elomako Bura, Ruth Odinga.
No, she was not him. She was not there as well.
So it tells you, and let's take for example the absence of Winnie Odinga. Yeah. Then another thing also should tell you that the presence of Mbadi Opio Wandai. And remember, these are people who relinquished their positions to be experts in the government. So which means they are going against the law. So it tells you this was more of a UDA function in ODM colors.
Yeah. I remember seeing Robert Alai
Yeah,
giving a comment asking why they were spending a lot of money in branding something that they were going to use just for a single day.
for a single day. They said that it was 200 million.
And remember, those are monies from the people of Kenya. I wonder
So
why we have that kind of leaders. Such a shame.
okay, Marco Bura, I'll meet with you tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Allow me to
Just pin the number
appreciate your
for
questions. Okay.
pin the number. Then tomorrow, if we get, I will get the information, and Judith will get that.
Okay, thank you. Allow me to just say a big thank you to everyone who joined us at the at the panelist side. Allow me to appreciate Msimamo and say a big thank you to Msimamo for finding time to join us. We really appreciate your time and consistency. We appreciate so much. Allow me again to appreciate and say a big thank you to Brother Benson for also finding time to join us today. At the comment section, as usual, allow me to appreciate and say a big thank you to Goodyear. Thank you so much for finding time to be with us, and thank you for giving us your views. Allow me to acknowledge and to say a big thank you to our good friend Judith for also finding time to join us. We appreciate so much. Allow me to acknowledge the presence of Brenda. Thank you so much Brenda for finding time to be with us. June Wesley, asante sana kwa wakati wako. And everyone who joined us today, we really appreciate and we say a big thank you. Allow me to say a big thank you to everyone who commented, everyone who engaged us at the comment section, and to remind you that you've been watching us via Brother Benson Media and our sister channel Kikao na Sauti, and over here we do say that your opinion counts. Thank you so much everyone, and we appreciate. We hope to see you again tomorrow. And good year, I think, or I believe you've seen the contact that you had requested for, and We appreciate so much. Allow me to take this opportunity once again to say big thank you to everyone, and may God bless you. Thank you so much for joining and supporting us each and every day. I'd wish to end at this point and to let you know that over here we do say that your opinion counts. If you're watching for the first time, kindly like and subscribe, because if you do so, it is a way of supporting us, na sisi hapa as usual tutasema ni asante. Thank you so much. Have a blessed morning, a blessed afternoon, a blessed evening, a blessed night from wherever you're watching us from. May God bless you. See you again tomorrow. Bye bye for today.